final show of the year, Dr. Hale. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. So we have, as usual, another fine group of the best human beings in the entire world, which is our USM students. And this is the show where we chat about what is in the news, why we might care. Is that news is the weather report for our society, right? It's the idea that there are these things coming at us as citizens, as residents of communities, and we need to get together, chat about what's going on, figure out what direction we want to go, and make decisions as residents and citizens of our towns, states, and nations. And the best way to do that is talk about the news. So to get us going, I'm going to ask everybody to kind of introduce yourselves, maybe tell us about what you're doing, Dr. Hale. You got some exciting things going on that I think we should hear about. But then your name, maybe your hometown, maybe your major, and what student group you might be involved with.
All right. I am Dr. Brent Hale. I'm going to move the mic as well. So I am an assistant professor here in the School of Media and Communication. I am a specialist in social media and I suppose like public speaking and communication more generally. And yes, the news that you were talking about. So the Rural Digital Forensics Initiative, which is a program that I am running. It's actually a shared program between the School of Media Communication and the Criminal Justice program. And we have just finally begun production. We've finished our first bit of content. We're working. We actually just recorded our second bit of content this morning, which is creating training materials for law enforcement that will be nationally distributed. And in fact, we have somebody that's currently over having a presentation to the EU. So we may, in fact, be reaching to Europe at some point as well.
Yikes. Yeah, this is something I tell you, as a school, we're super excited about that. It's super proud of Dr. Hale. This is where our students are making videos and content that will be used in law enforcement training nationwide and perhaps worldwide. This is the kind of opportunity that, quite honestly, you only get at USM because you have professors like Dr. Hale out there writing grants and bringing in things for our students to do. So I absolutely love that.
The Department of Justice decided that they liked it and gave us $3
million.
Yeah,
this is Fed money, man. Fed money.
That's right.
That's good money.
But our students are making the content.
Yep. I love that.
Hi, my name is Lily Burgard. I'm a sophomore journalism major with a minor in media and entertainment arts. I'm a co-producer on the show with Annabella Laird.
Yes, you are.
And I'm from around Jackson. What was the other question I needed to answer?
What student group?
No.
You got it. Yeah, so you're part of SM too.
Yeah.
Because and we're talking about what you're going to do next semester. I can't decide what you're going to keep being producer. So there you go. It's all very exciting.
Awesome.
I'm Walker Scott. I'm a sophomore digital journalism major at USM, well, obviously. And I'm involved at the Roy Howard Community Journalism Center since May.
Yep. Now, and that's another thing. That's another exciting initiative here at the school. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that probably next semester. Maybe we'll have a special Roy Howard Community Journalism Center. But that's another result of faculty writing grants, bringing in opportunities for our students to do. So that's exciting.
Hi, I'm Darby Felton. I'm a journalism major and a minor in digital journalism, and I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi, and I plan to join SM2 next semester for volunteering.
Excellent. Love that. You're a communication studies major.
I'm a communication studies
with a
major.
digital journalism minor. Love
Exactly.
that. Yeah, so I love all that.
Like seeing comm studies people around here. It makes me happy.
It does make, it keeps you in business, right? Keeps you working.
Keeps me in business.
Keeps you
That's
working.
right,
Yeah, we need that. Okay, so another great group of students. Thank you all. So what's going on? Tell me about what's going on in the Community Journalism Center. Anything exciting that we should know about?
Well, we're doing, obviously we have our What is True initiative. I'm obviously really excited about the What is True initiative because I am the media literacy coordinator, so What is True is like my main job, and at least from what I understand, that's a big part of the main draw as to why we got the funding in the first place, because Southeast Mississippi kind of lacks the resources that it needs to build strong media literacy among the people who live here. So a big part of what the center does is we try and take posts from online or rumors that people are spreading person to person, and we fact check them. We put them out for Southeast Mississippi, and that's been going strong for the past year, for the past few months especially. Ever since the semester started, we've been on a roll with it, and now that we have Amy working with us as well, taking over Josh's position, we have a lot of headway going into next semester. We have a lot of plans going forward as well for bigger and better fact checks.
Yeah, so I mean that is a very important initiative of the center, which is the idea of you see something on social media, you're not quite sure what it's all about, you can actually give us a call. And they'll look into it for you. And we share that with everybody. So it's very cool.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention as well to our listeners, so if you actually want to check out what's being produced from the Roy Howard Center, so the website for that is RHCJC, Roy Howard Community Journalism Center, rhcjcnews.com. Excellent stuff on there, genuinely.
Yeah.
One of the things I really like is that the stuff that you're looking at on there, you can break down by county,
Yep.
which is awesome.
Yep.
Really, really cool. They create great stuff.
Yeah, we're really super proud of everything they're doing. So that's exciting. Now you're not quite affiliated yet with a student group. We talked about you a little bit. Okay, so what is news to our students? What is reaching through, and what are our students talking about that might be in the news? And I got a couple of headlines I can throw at you, but what are our students concerned with?
I just talked. I can't talk again.
No, that's okay. You're allowed to talk. It's America.
What is it? A lot of what Trump's saying right now about all of the journalisms and everything,
Oh,
just
I've
because I'm
already
surrounded by
sighed.
it.
I've already sighed.
Yeah, it's just not a great thing right now, and everyone's talking about it because.
Well, give me an example. What of your thinking?
Of him saying, what is it? Quiet piggy to that one journalism.
Yeah,
major?
yeah.
Yeah,
I wondered
not a
if that
great
was
thing.
going. I was wondering if that's going to come up, especially with this group. So here's what the situation is, right? And I would like to hear what you guys think about this, especially since we have, everybody around here, except for Dr. Hale directly, sort of, is involved in journalism in some fashion. So what we're talking about is last week, President Trump leaned through the doorway in the barrier on the Air Force One between the front of the plane, which is where all the administration sits, and the back of the plane, which is where the press corps sits. And so he doesn't give a lot of news conferences, but he does have a habit of doing that when Air Force One is going from one place to another. He'll amble back, stick his head in the door, and reporters will ask him questions. Last week, one of the questions from one of the reporters, a woman, was about Epstein files, and Trump looked at her and said, "Quiet piggy." So, and you're feeling that wasn't cool.
No, it's not cool at all. If he's gonna put the Epstein files out there, he's gotta take some harsh feedback from that and just get over himself.
Yeah. Okay. Thoughts?
Yeah, I was thinking of I saw another thing of another journalist that asked him a question about the Epstein files, and he rather than actually answering any part of the question, he went on a tangent about how it was
Yes,
weird.
and he was
saw
like, "You're
that.
a horrible journalist, and I hate you.
Yeah.
You are horrible."
Who
I did
between
catch
the two
that.
of you is not doing their job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're kind of where maybe Dr. Hale can weigh in here for us. Where I want to get to is, yes, of course, the Epstein files are just crazy, and Trump has been all over the board on that, first promising during the campaign he's going to release them, and then doing everything within his power to not release them, and then flip-flopping again and urging the House to pass this bill that he didn't need in order to release them. I don't care about that as much as I care about the President of the United States breaking a fundamental norm of looking at a fellow human being and saying, "Quiet piggy." What does that do to us as a society?
I mean, it normalizes that kind of behavior, right? And that kind of language, which, again, I mean, I go back to, we've been talking about the presidency and the types of political things that are happening right now for many, many, many weeks and months. For some people, this is what they wanted to see. Was a change in the way that we communicate that is more offensive and abrasive and not PC, if you like. And I think that we're now seeing it, right? So you asked for it, here it is, now we're seeing it. I personally hate this. I think it's terrible. It dehumanizes, and it also just really changes the way that we expect the president to speak.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. And I really do want to pick up with this theme of dehumanizing human beings after the break.
Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Look through your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Okay, we are back, and as usual, we kind of talk through the break. But I will say, so this idea of dehumanizing, and I would actually add in there disappearing groups of human beings, and language such as quiet piggy, leads us down a place perhaps we don't want to go.
Absolutely. And beyond just mean words and things, it's the actions that I think are really important. Like the mean words, they showcase the actions, but they wouldn't be much on their own if he wasn't actively attacking groups of people with legislation and things. The most recent ICE raids rolling out in all the major cities are terrifying. I've seen, and then what adds an even more terrifying layer to it is that you're watching these videos, and some of them actually aren't real. Like I saw a video the other day of a lady responding to ICE agents in her restaurant. It wasn't real, it was AI.
Huh.
It was completely AI.
Yeah.
She was completely AI. So
Yeah.
it's like, and I think it's purposeful to be pushing out content that you don't know what's real and what's not, to make you not really believe what's in front of your eyes as far as the real rolling out of the monsters.
That is
goes.
a real interesting factor.
I feel like it's a lot of like poison in the way that like Trump talks, like we were just talking about, and also in like the pushing of AI content that I feel you usually see, especially from like right-leaning figures and stuff like that. I feel like people on the right, this is a generalization, but like tend to be more in support of especially generative AI, and so a lot of it feels like, you know, the word that comes to mind for me with a lot of the stuff is like distraction from the stuff that matters most. And real journalism is obviously putting what matters most into focus. And so these two things feel so at odds. And so I feel like ever since I started like the journalism program here, and ever since I started at the Roy Howard Center in May, like I'm seeing like the distractions so much more clearly with fake content like AI, and also with divisive language like Trump uses to pull focus away from real issues and put it on controversy.
Yeah, right. And of course it works to some degree, because I'm sitting here saying, hey, we should be talking about Quiet Piggy instead of talking about what's in the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. So it worked it works to some degree, right?
So he scrubbed those files. That's where we have come to, yeah?
Well,
if
okay.
He's now wanting to release them, they're scrubbed.
Well, okay. So, we don't know. But where we are is that the law that was approved, weirdly, unanimously, except for one vote, that then Trump signed immediately. So Congress can move rapidly when they want to. The deadline to release the Epstein's files is December 19th. And allegedly, the Justice Department is now going through and redacting the files to protect, quote, ongoing investigations. And I'm not quite sure about private reputations, but I think that's what they said. So the theory is that, Trump was never charged with a crime involving Epstein, so they'll redact everything involving Trump. That's the theory. The New York Times actually did an editorial last week saying exactly that's the fear. And so everybody just don't get too excited about these Epstein files being released. They're unlikely to say anything.
Well, and it's a continuation of the pattern of the things that we've seen out of the administration anyway. Whenever there's been something that's released, it's never been satisfying. When there were releases by the DOJ about what they had investigated related to this, and the actual report was basically nothing. It was like, yeah, we looked at things. Okay, great. Well, what did we learn from that, right? It's always been underwhelming, and this is just going to be a continuation of that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the general assessment. So our students now, so we're at the end of the semester. How are our students doing?
Good.
Are we?
Yeah.
We're okay? Are you sure?
Burnt out, tired.
Okay,
Yeah,
burnt
worked
out, tired.
Definitely, yeah.
I can see it in your eyes. Everybody's a little tired right now.
Ask me
Yeah.
how I'm doing next week.
Next week, yeah.
Next week is going to be great.
At the end of next week.
All
Yeah,
the
and of
cups
course,
coffee.
faculty are not only not immune, we're right there with you.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say this semester so far, I'm kind of up on my grading, but I'm also waiting for another massive batch to drop. So there you go. How we look? What about Christmas? Are we going home for Christmas? What are we doing?
Actually, I'm going to where I'm actually from, Kingsland, Georgia, for Christmas, which I'm very excited about.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're from Georgia.
Yeah, I'm from
How'd
Georgia.
you end up here?
Oh, my dad was in the Navy. He got transferred here, so we just stayed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where are they living now?
Oh, we just live in the coast. Well, my whole family lives on the coast and everything, and I just am up here for college.
What part of the coast?
Oh, Biloxi. just
Oh,
like-
Biloxi. Okay, of course. Military. Very cool. Did you ride by the aliens in Pascagoula?
I was too young to really know what was going on.
I know, it's very cool.
yeah.
Now, are you aware of the aliens in Okay, so
I'm
there
aware
you
of the
go.
Pascagoula aliens. Also, there was a band around here, like a local punk band, that used his statement about the aliens as an intro to one of their songs.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
awesome.
great.
That is very awesome. Now, are you aware of the Pascagoula
Oh,
aliens?
yeah.
Okay.
I tried to look. I was doing something for What Is True one time, and I had to look up Pascagoula, and that's all I found.
That's
Literally is that's all
crazy.
we really ought to do a remote show from the because there is a marker down in Pascagoula. This is where they first spotted the aliens, and they have the whole story on a little plaque down there. It's very cool. Okay, well, students, hang in there, all you guys. If any one of not a whole lot of students are listening, but at least you guys here, right? Hang in there. You're going to do okay. You're doing great. Let me throw a couple of headlines at you to see if you care. So this is actually from the Crimson White, which is the campus newspaper for the University of Alabama. And this is a story. University of Alabama shuts down 2 student-run magazines, 1956 and Alice. The first deals with African American culture, and the second deals with women. University of Alabama shut them down because, anybody want to guess?
Go for it.
Because they claimed that the magazines violated the Trump administration's definition of violating civil rights law because they involve DEI. So by focusing on African American culture, now I don't understand the argument, but they just put sentences like this together, and I don't pretend to understand it, but they do say because the content involves African American culture, that somehow violates the civil rights of white people. That's the argument. So University of Alabama shut it down. How are we feeling? What do we think?
I think it's very transparently about comfort rather than actual morality. If that makes sense.
Talk to me about comfort. What do you mean by comfort?
A lot of white people, especially I'm sure in the Trump administration, feel threatened just by the mention of or the sight of any sort of black culture. And they think their own civil rights are at threat, which is crazy because how much of his cabinet's white? I don't think they're really at threat, but sure, shutting down a newspaper will maintain equilibrium somehow. I don't get it.
It's just another example of a pattern that we've seen many times where people that follow Trump are typically white Americans, white men. There are those that aren't, and they consider themselves anomalies, so much so that I see many posts being I am a black guy for Trump. Don't see many of us,
okay.
but white people love Trump because not only is he in your face mean, he's also in your face racist, and they have been scared for years about declining birth rates of white people, that there won't be enough white people, that there will actually be equal numbers of white people and people of color. And that is an idea that, especially down in the South, but really everywhere, just revolts just people, white people specifically, obviously racist people. And so what we're seeing right now is we have to shut down everything that doesn't uplift us, because if they are even on equal footing with us, if they have their own representation, what's going to happen to us? Are we going to remain in power? And it's...
I'm sighing.
It's really gross.
Yeah. You're shaking your hand. Shaking your head.
It's disappointing because they should be able to share their opinions and their perspectives on life, and us taking that away from them isn't right. It's news. People need to learn things. That's my take on that.
People need to learn things.
So this is living at an intersection of 2 different issues. So we obviously have the anti-DEI issue, which is creating the environment for this, but then we also have been seeing very clear pullbacks or attacks even on journalism being produced at university
Yep,
campuses.
yep.
So I was following what was happening at Indiana University, where they had pulled the funding, the administration there had pulled the funding from the Daily Student News there, and that was a really, really big deal because that is a very well-established journalism program, a huge journalism program. And there was a whole uproar about it, created a whole fight against the admin there. It was like, no, this is an important part of the culture of the campus, and it has to be put back in. Won that fight, but this is something that's happening. It's happening in Oklahoma.
Yep.
It's happening in all these places where there's attacks on journalism being produced at these spaces, and that then, of course, overlaid over the anti-DEI stuff means what happened in Alabama was inevitable.
Yeah.
Right? That was going to happen.
Well, but here's my argument, is that it shouldn't have happened. University of Alabama is absolutely wrong in the interpretation of anything. They cited the Attorney General's opinion on when they first came into office, Pam Bondi's, saying that, hey, anything that highlights one culture over another violates blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, that's an opinion. There's been no judicial ruling yet on that. 2, it makes no sense. And 3, what the hell?
Exactly.
So I mean, it's simply just plain out and out wrong. I don't understand the University of Alabama.
Yeah.
They're not explaining it very well. Now, this morning there was a news story, not in the Crimson White. Quite honestly, I don't follow the Crimson White every day. I went and looked at it because of this. That alumni are stepping in now, and they're actually better funded now than they were from the university. But there's also a lot of people saying that's not a good use of alumni dollars. Mm-hmm. The university should be paying this. This is career preparation for hundreds of students. Well, dozens of students.
It's support from alumni. We take it any way we can get it.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so yeah.
Oh, I was just going to talk about the University of Oklahoma student that turned
Yeah,
in the
go
essay.
for it. Oh, yeah. That's a big
yeah,
one.
I know about this.
Yeah. How do we feel about that? Should I explain it?
Yeah, give us
for
the.
A student at the University of Oklahoma was in a psychology class where they were asked to read an article about gender roles and to give their opinion on the piece and kind of, just write a normal essay.
Yeah.
The student turned in a piece that was entirely opinion with no basis in fact, and also just called people things like demonic and things of that nature. And when the teacher gave her a 0 and then had who was also a transgender teacher, she was saying that transgender people were demonic in the essay, and then her teacher is transgender and gave her a 0, but then also CC'd someone else on the assignment. Was like, I'm gonna give this over to someone else so that I can have a backup. I'm not just saying this because I'm trans. I have someone else being like, this essay doesn't deserve a grade. And anyway, her mom was a lawyer and she sued. Now I know that the main teacher has been taken off of faculty or has been put on leave. I don't know about the second teacher that was CC'd on the email.
Yeah, I don't think anything happened to the second teacher, but the first teacher was a graduate assistant, and so
To the big-hearted,
she
the
was
bold,
put on leave.
the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers.
That's so. We just have. Yeah, we are actually coming up on a break. So Liam, let's go ahead and take the break, and then we're getting a thumbs up in the control room, and we'll be right back with this really fascinating case out of the University of Oklahoma.
To the big-hearted, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Okay, and okay, I believe we are back. And hey, Dr. Hale, we are keeping up with the standards of our show, which are professional.
Yes, this is
Yeah,
that.
this
That
is-
was great.
This is what we do. So that's awesome. Both our listeners are well aware of that. So this case, it is out of the University of Oklahoma, I'm pretty sure. It's really interesting because of a lot of folks have delved into the details, and the details are actually more disturbing in some ways than the top headline, which is often reversed. So what are we thinking about this? Have you guys heard about this case? Is it reaching
Yeah,
our
I've heard
students?
about this.
Okay, and what do we think about it?
She did the paper. She got a 0, which I've gotten a 0 on a paper before. But she wrote the essay. I feel like she should have gotten some points. I don't know too much about what it's on or anything about that. I just know that it's not, I guess, correct in a way, or dealt with correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much about it. I watched a really short video on it, and then I was kind of like, I'll get back to this, and then I never really got back to it.
Yeah.
I do know the gist, and what you said, your explanation helped a lot as well. Yeah, I feel like I probably shouldn't get into it because I feel like my own opinions on the subject are probably like a little too loaded.
Oh,
That's
well,
real. That's so real.
know,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I
How
was
much time
dialing
do
it
we have?
down.
No, I don't know that we need. I don't think we should be dialing things down right now. Actually,
It's so. This is a thing that's happening, right? We know that people are actively looking for places to create problems.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fishing that's happening, and I'm going to keep doing things because I want to create a fight. I'm not saying that definitely happened here, but I'm saying that it probably did, and it sure looks like it probably did. And the problem is that they fell for the bait.
Yeah.
And did, in fact, take such a dramatic step in just giving a 0 as opposed to what I would argue as an educator, a person that grades papers, to be like, well, you did technically respond to what I asked you
Yeah.
to, so there's points there, but you
Yeah.
didn't do it the way I asked, so not a very good grade.
Yeah.
But because you went so far as to say, nah, that's a 0 because you did something that's just wrong, that's why we have this. So this is the kind of thing that's happening all the time.
Well, and
it's
this
just this was one where they fell for it.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that's super good insight. And if you look at the stories being done in the higher ed literature, and they're all over the place, that's the point many of them are making, is that you have a young instructor, grad assistant. So she's only done this a couple of semesters.
Yeah.
It took the bait.
Yeah.
Where a more experienced instructor would go, okay, I see, And I'm trying to think it's like 17, 18 years now I've done that. I've probably had 7 or 8 essays very similar, citing Bible things, giving the moral argument rather than the scholarly argument. And I give them a grade. Sometimes better than not, depends on how well it's written. And I think that she took the bait. So, but this is also a weird time where the governor weighed in on this case. Did you guys catch that?
No, I had no
That is
idea.
what's making this even more complicated.
Yes.
Because we're in a space where politicians are feeling empowered to weigh in on this sort of thing.
Yeah, not only empowered, but they're looking for opportunities to weigh in.
Do we have the quote from the governor? I haven't heard.
I don't in front of me. I'm sorry, I should have gotten it. But the essence of it was this student will not be academically harmed for her essay promoting Christianity, and we'll make sure no other students are ever harmed. So clearly trying to make political points on the far right, which Oklahoma is a very ruby red state.
I think that they're only doing this because of how high of her position of her mom has. Because I know this happens all the time in many different states, but just because of her position, this is going on, and it's in the news.
Yeah.
It feels purposeful. When you read the
Yeah.
essay, it has I've read it a few times. It just has this very incendiary type of I want to blow things up
Yeah,
as
she
much as
wanted
I
it to
possibly
take
can.
It was written to be offensive.
Yeah.
And so therefore somebody was offended.
Yes.
And sometimes
took
the
it too much to
better thing is
Yeah.
don't be offended.
Yeah.
But that often takes experience, right?
And when you're in an academic space, to just read something that is just purely opinion, when you asked for, I guess, more educated opinions, they did ask for the student's opinion, so I don't know that she can be,
Right.
but it was,
Right.
it was.
Well, there you go. So as usual, time flies super, super fast. I do want to make sure we get to a couple of headlines, and I also want to acknowledge this is the last show of the semester for us, which is very, very sad. This is one of my favorite things I get to do. But let me throw a couple of so I'll do a real quick couple of headlines I want to get your thoughts on. So one is the United States military killing 2 people who are clinging to the wreckage of a boat in the Caribbean Sea. Did we catch this in the news? And what do we think of this?
We just talked about this in class yesterday.
We did.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so let me give you. So here's the story. I got a couple folks that shook their head. They hadn't quite heard this yet. So the U.S. has been shooting alleged drug carrying boats out of the water in the Caribbean. All of them coming from Venezuela. We're up to over 90, I believe, people who have been killed in these military attacks. In September, there was that we're just learning now. The Washington Post did a great story over the weekend, last weekend. In September, one of the attacks from the U.S. military was called a double tap. So they fired a missile, the boat was crippled, and there were 2 folks that were in the boat that were clinging to the tattered gunwale of the ship. And then the military fired a second missile and blew up the boat and killed the men that were in the water. And so this came to Congress's attention. They held a hearing yesterday, closed-door hearing yesterday. Group of Democrat senators come out and say, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is clearly murder. This is not what we do as a country. Group of Republican senators come out and say, nope, this is fine. This is within policy. This is what we're doing. Now, this has created quite a stir. So what are we thinking?
I don't get why the solution to like every problem has to be murder the people who are doing it. You know, I feel like we, not just as a planet, Loki, like rely on murder like way too
Violence.
much.
Yeah, we've been too violent recently, and it's not great.
It's kind of crazy.
It's just also not going to solve your drug problem.
Exactly.
You think all the drugs in this country are coming from like all being run in rather than created in labs? Like you got a big storm coming.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I'll make the argument that we've always been violent. It's not a recent thing. Since we've become people, we've been killing each other. It's just a thing. What is problematic here for me, in the way that I've been kind of listening to politicians talk about this stuff, is that it's not a comparison of what's worse, this is happening, but it could be worse. It's just that this is just wrong, right? It's wrong regardless that we are murdering folks. I mean, it just is that simple in my head. And to make the argument of, no, blow them out of the water, maybe I would listen a little more if we had evidence, like genuine evidence that there were drugs on board. I still don't know that we should be killing people, but at least then it would be like, okay, well, we can at least hear like why we might have done this, but that's just not happening.
Nope.
And of course, if there was clear evidence, we would have definitely seen it.
Well, that's the thing. I think the New York Times, again, I'll tell you, man, if you're not looking at the New York Times every day, you really need to be, because those guys are on it. And I'll tell you, this is the first, and I've been reading New York Times for almost 50 years now. This is the first time I've seen them have a continuing daily feature that just says the administration. And you open it up, and there's just these vignettes every day of the crazy coming out of Washington. They're doing a great job at trying their best to stay on top of all this. One of their stories was that the Coast Guard has been interdicting drug boats for 100 years, and they're remarkably good at it, and they don't kill anybody. And they talked about how they interdicted some like 500 and some boats last year, took tons and tons and tons of drugs away from the shores, arrested hundreds of people, did not kill a single person. Very effective operation.
Very effective. Why don't we do that now? Why do we have to go to violence?
Well, clearly, right? So this is the ongoing discussion, is that what you see isn't what is. So and nobody can figure out, well, why are we doing this? Why are we going after Venezuela?
It's some kind of an intimidation tactic.
And why, though?
That I don't know.
That we don't know, right? So it's really interesting. Okay.
But that's prevalent in more than just the drug busts. I mean, with the rolling out of the National Guard into U.S. cities and stuff, everything is like big intimidation just so you're scared.
Yeah. The scare thing is interesting.
Always.
That's a really interesting insight.
Yes, strong arming, which is just what you expect to see out of authoritarians.
That's right. And we've been talking about that all semester. If there's one word that sums up the theme of this show the last semester, it's authoritarian, right? Okay, I'm going to throw one more headline at you. So, Liam, I'm going to give you a kind of a minute warning here. Here we go. I'm going to actually roll in K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
Oh,
so
thank
here's the
goodness. I
headline.
was so concerned we weren't going to get there.
Well, I also want to ask about your assignment, but I bet you forgot and didn't do.
Oh, no, I did.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Of course
we'll
I
talk about
did.
that.
You told me to do it.
Okay, well, there you go. So here's the headline. Netflix to buy Warner Brothers, an $83 billion deal to create a streaming giant. So this is, so we've been consolidating. Streaming actually created a little bit of competition. Now they're consolidating that. What do we think? In Netflix, 30 years ago, they were the company.
Eye roll.
Oh, you got an eye roll. Oh, no.
I actually just wrote a paper about Netflix for media literacy, talking about how I think it's kind of gross the way that they've taken over TV and just media in general.
Really? Okay.
It's just
Well, why I mentioned K-pop Demon Hunters is they are the owners, creators, and streamers of K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of.
Are you out of the loop on that?
No, no, I'm very in the loop.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Drug boats, I don't care, but I saw that earlier today. One of my friends was really upset about it. I feel like I'm kind of two minds about it because on one hand, it feels like you have to pay so much either way. Either there's one streaming service that has everything so they can charge whatever they want, or there's a billion streaming services that you have to subscribe to get what you want. And either way, you're spending an exorbitant amount of money.
There you go.
It is
I feel like-
expensive.
Yeah, no, literally. I feel like the problem is the method that we're getting it, not who owns it. If that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay, well, you could argue that but for Netflix wanting to be so competitive, you would not, K-pop Demon Hunters would not exist.
This is true, and that would be a sad day.
That would be very
That
sad.
would be sad.
So how are we feeling about K-pop Demon Hunters? Are we liking them?
I love it. They made ramen. It's at Target. I'm so excited.
Oh,
never watched.
oh.
You're missing out
We
so
discussed
hard.
this. We
We've
discussed this.
discussed this many times. At this point, it's becoming a point. I'm
Oh,
not
you're
gonna watch
making
it.
a point.
Yeah,
You're,
I'm not
you're
gonna-
actively
you're
not
missing
watching it.
out.
Okay, I got you. I understand. That's
Too many
kind
people
of
have
me.
been watch it.
I
I'm
would
like,
do
can't
that.
it.
It's too good.
I was all in favor of that, and then Dr. Hale forced me to watch it, and now I'm
Transformed.
all in. I
Yeah,
am. I'm
new
transformed.
person.
Speaking of transformed,
It's true. Yeah.
okay, so speaking of which, last show that Dr. Hale was on, I challenged him to watch the video for Fate of Ophelia, Taylor Swift's Fate of
Thank God.
Ophelia. Oh, there you go. Darby's with me.
Yeah,
We actually
I'm
missed.
always
So
with that.
actually, we had another show. You forgot about it.
Oh, I did?
Yeah,
oh, my
you did.
gosh. Okay, well, there you go. So now, what do you think, Dr. Hale, what do you think? Your assignment was to watch it and explain to me why it's not perfect.
Why it's not? You didn't tell me that.
Oh,
you
no,
just
go
said to
ahead.
watch
Just-
it. Okay,
just
well
watch
now,
it. Just tell me
so
what you think.
okay, well here's what I'm gonna say in competition with what you just said. I think that music video is a masterclass in choreography and costume design.
Yeah.
I think it is fantastic on both of those fronts. Absolutely tremendously good.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think the problem is?
No, I don't have a problem.
No,
Oh
he-
my goodness!
No,
okay,
I will
thought you were
say-
trying to get at a point.
No,
I think it's
no, here's my
actually
point.
so well done.
My point is, here's my point. And I was hoping you would disagree with me because we had a little fight. But it's perfect. The music video is perfect.
It is perfect.
In a
It is.
world where we are killing people clinging to the remnants of boats, we have something that is perfect. That you can spend 3 minutes and 49 seconds and go, I've never seen anything that looks, sounds, and is perfect.
Okay, well, if we're going to take that sort of stance, that's absolutely perfect. I will say that the red wig could have been improved a little
No.
bit.
Oh, my God. Dude, no. We need it. No.
No.
Oh, no.
Look, you're asking.
Leave it
I'm saying
alone.
it.
Leave it
Ophelia was
alone.
Irish. She was Irish. That's why she's
Well,
wearing
I'm
that.
not saying it can't be red,
Oh
but the wig
my
could have been a
God.
little better.
Oh, my God. It was
Oh,
perfect.
my goodness
The
gracious.
wig was perfect.
You got to be careful using words like perfect.
She's wearing red lipstick. You gotta match it with a certain hair color so it doesn't look scary.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfecto.
It's perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Did you
Plays
have
it
you
in
seen
class.
Fate of Ophelia, the video?
I'm not a huge T-Swizzle fan.
That's okay,
I will
that's
say,
okay,
I will
that's
say, I will
okay.
say, I will say. I did not listen to the album very much. I was listening to a little bit of it. I don't really like it. But I did like the alternate album covers, some of the ones that she did.
Oh,
I
that was
loved
an
the one
interesting
where she did
idea.
that Bob, the
Yeah.
Bob, and she was like,
That was an
cool. I think
interesting
that should have
idea.
been the cover.
Interesting idea.
But
Have you seen Fate of Ophelia?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
Lily,
y'all are
Lily,
missing
Lily.
out.
You can't
I've
be
listened to
you
the
can't be
album.
more culturally illiterate than me. Nobody's allowed to do that.
I'm in the Taylor Swift loop. I'm pleading that fifth
Gotcha.
on Taylor Swift.
Oh no. Okay,
too,
that's
me
fine.
too.
All right. Well, this has been an amazing semester for News You Need and for the Student Media Center. So this is a production of the Student Media Center. Our producers are Annabella Laird and Lily Burkhardt, and I will tell you, you guys have done an amazing job. Just an absolutely fabulous show every week because of their work. Our video producer is Isabella Michaud. Thank you, Isabella. And our engineer all semester has been Liam Keenan. And thank you both for all of your work. And we will be back next semester sometime at the end of January, we think.
Yeah.
This has been News You Need with Dr. Ed Simpson. News You Need airs Friday afternoon at 12:30 on Southern